If you want to accelerate your growth, the first thing that you want to do is change who you spend time with.
Most of the people in our lives, they're takers.
My attorney, that poor guy is an A student, but he knows jack about outside of that.
Rise and shine!
It's Entspresso time.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I am not a morning person. But when you start your day with a routine that inspires you, like watching one of these videos, it will change your life. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee, know that I believe in you, and get ready for a shot of Entspresso from Dan Lok.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Well, I don't think rich people befriend only with other rich people, but definitely they want to befriend with people who are successful, who are growth oriented, who are positive. So the problem is, once you have money, and this is, I'm just speaking from experience, that the circle that you hang around with change. Because first of all, your buddies, your friends that you hang with and chill with from the past, you will have less in common with them. Not that you have changed, because now around you, they would feel uncomfortable. They would feel insecure. And you would feel that the conversation you have with them in the past is okay, but now, most of the time, I'm not saying all, but most of the time, they are bitching and moaning, and they are acting like victims. They're talking about stuff that it's very meaningless. You find those conversations very, just a waste of time. They're not talking about growth. They're not talking about become better. So when you are growing, when you're successful, you want to hang around with people who are like-minded. You want to talk about deep issues. You don't want to talk about sports. You don't want to talk about the weather. You're not interested in that. So this is why when you hang around with other successful people, you feel like, okay, you know what? We've got something in common, that we are talking about how to build a business. We're talking about how to make an impact. We are talking about solving bigger global issues. This is why precisely rich people are willing to pay a premium price to belong to, let's say, a golf club, a private club, or certain associations. Why? Because then they hang around with other like-minded successful people, right? Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. One of the things that my mentor always says, Dan Pena, and it's very, very true. You see, as you become more successful, your circle of influence will change. In fact, on the other way to look at it is, if you want to accelerate your growth, the first thing that you want to do is change who you spend time with, who you hang out with. And this is precisely why. It's not that rich people don't want to hang out with poor people. It's very often poor people, the mindset, the scarcity mindset, the way that they behave, it just doesn't resonate with them. Also, when you have a lot of money, people around you, most of the time, they want something from you. They want a handout. They want money. They want a job. They want to get something from you, right? So then they get tired of that. But when they hang out with other rich people, they don't really need anything from each other. There's no agenda, because I'm already rich. You're rich. I don't need your money. I don't need you to give me a job. I don't need to give you anything. So that kind of relationship becomes actually more pure.
Collect good people. Get into the habit of collecting good people. What that means is, when you find somebody who you hang out with, you spend a little bit of time with, and you feel better about yourself, you have more energy, you're more inspired, you want to go home and do more work and build a better life. When you're around those people, even for a moment, try to find a way to spend more time with them. Most of the people in our lives, they're takers. Not because they're bad people or they're only in taker mentality. They're in a lot of pain. They're struggling a lot. You're probably ahead of where they are. You're the person who's giving them the motivation, the energy, the belief, the hope. You're the one who's the most ambitious person in your circle. And so you're pushing the people around you to do better. You're that person for other people, but who is that person for you? And chances are you don't have that person in your life. And so maybe you get it from books or from videos, maybe online communities, but you don't have that person in your life. And that's what we need to start to cultivate. And so when you find somebody around you, even if you haven't spent a lot of time with them, when you feel them, it's super important to pay attention to the energy. Pay attention to the energy. When you're around somebody and you leave them, do you feel better or worse about yourself? Do you have more energy, more vitalization, more hope, more inspiration, or do you feel drained? Do you feel low energy? Do you feel lethargic? Do you feel like you need a break? Was it too overwhelming? And again, most of the people in our lives are the ones who drain us because they're in a lot of pain, and it takes us a lot of energy to help them or to try to just deal with them. I look at Zan DeMan as an example in my community. So Zan DeMan is a confidence coach. He is now my co-host on my gaming channel where we answer people's questions live. And he was one of the first people inside my Movement Makers program. And Zan just had so much energy. When you hang around with Zan, you feel better, you feel more energetic, you feel more hopeful, you feel more inspired. And so when I started Movement Makers, he was one of the first people in. And now before I come on, so like in the 10 to 15 minutes before Movement Makers starts, Zan's on playing music. Says, hey Zan, you used to be DJ. Do you want to do a little pre-show? Welcome people to Movement Makers as they join. Tell them to turn their cameras on. Give them some love. Give them some energy. Just inject some confidence into people. It's like, yeah, I'd love to do that. And so he's doing that now. And it's a great value add to the people who are in the community. Then I thought, hey, do you want to do a gaming channel, a live gaming channel with me where we answer questions? I'm going to play the game. You be my co-host. You bring the questions in and we'll both answer them. Because I was having a hard time trying to read the questions and play the game at the same time. He's like, yeah, I'm down to do that. And so now I hang out with Zan. I went from seeing Zan, every 2 weeks inside of Movement Makers to 4 times a week. 4 times a week when I'm answering questions on the gaming channel. And so I'm trying to find a way to spend more time with Zan because I love the energy. I love how I feel afterwards. And I love the value that it also brings the community and the people watching. So I really want you to start to think about for your own life, who are the people around you who make you feel more hopeful, more inspired, more positive, more empowered, more positive? Like, who are those people? And they may not be people who you're hanging out with a lot, right? If I look at Zan DeMan, I was only seeing him every 2 weeks in a group setting. It was in a group with, there's lots of people in there. Zan was one of the people. So it's not like I was talking to him for 2 hours every 2 weeks, right? I had minimal exposure every 2 weeks in a group setting. But I singled him out. It's like, I like that guy. I want to find a way to spend more time with that guy. I want to do something more with that guy. And he could have said no to hosting or to DJing, but he said yes to both. And so there's probably people who are in your community somewhere who you've spent some amount of time with that I want you to rack your brain. They're not going to be your closest friends probably. If you do have that as your closest friend, holy cow, are you blessed? And be grateful and tell that friend, thank you so much. But if you don't have that person, then think about over the past 6 months, who has been somebody who you've met, you've hung out with in an online setting, and how can you spend more time with them? And if there's nobody like that in your life, and you can't think of anybody in the past 6 months, then join a group. This is partly why I made Movement Makers, not to make it a sales pitch for Movement Makers, but so many people don't have anybody in their life to be able to share their ambitions, share their dreams, share their goals, and have somebody, one, understand you and say, that's amazing instead of judging you, and two, give you the push forward. And so when I started Movement Makers, it was really just to learn from me. Come learn from Evan. But what I quickly discovered was, yes, you can learn from me and it's great, and every 2 weeks you get a nice motivational boost and support and energy, but there's so much value in people connecting to each other. It's become a family where people now every day are connecting with each other, are doing Instagram lives together, are collaborating on different projects together, are cheering each other on, are following each other on social, are commenting on each other's posts. It's become a family, it's become a community of like-minded people from around the world who are also trying to have a mission, serve people, do good, and might be the only people that they know, in their community. But now they've got this movement makers community of people helping them as well. One of my favorite parts inside movement makers is when we do breakout rooms. So people are nervous at the start of breakout rooms. And this is important, whether you're a movement makers or some other program, like it's putting yourself in the position to be vulnerable, to share, to meet somebody new. And this would terrify me. I hate breakout rooms because I'm introverted, I'm shy, I'm always worried about disappointing people. But it's important to go through that fear and go through that pain, because all your great connections and future friends are on the other side of it. So at the beginning of my movement makers was me talking for 85 minutes and doing Q&A. And we split it up so that we have a 20-minute segment where it's breakout room. So after I talk, after I do my presentation, I'll do my 3 big ideas on whatever topic, and then we do breakout rooms where you're put into a group of 5 to 6 people, and everybody kind of shares what is the single biggest learning that you had from this, and what are you going to take action on this week? And people share. And in that sharing, I miss out. I've come into a couple just to listen and see what's going on, but I want it to be about the students. I want it to be about you guys who are in the group. And the connections there are amazing. And at the end of the day, all I really care about is people getting results. I want you to, you've got a big mission. You can serve more. You can help more. I want to get that out into the world. And the community really, really, really matters. Having a community, having a family, the family you get to choose really, really matters. Because when you feel low, when you don't have the energy or the motivation, when you don't feel like you can do it, when you feel like nobody's watching anymore, nobody cares, who lifts you up? Who tells you, go, do one more day, one more set, one more video, do one more? Who lifts you up like that? I honestly think it's one of the biggest reasons why entrepreneurs aren't more successful. We just don't have enough support around us. Starting a business is one of the hardest things that you're ever going to do in your life, period. And when you're trying to do it all on your own, with no support, no love, and a lot of times lack of support, like negative support, right? Like, you can't do that, go do the safe thing. What are you trying to do? Who do you think you are? A lot of us will have that in our lives. I think that's a big reason why entrepreneurs don't make it. And my obsession is helping people unlock their Michael Jordan level genius and believe in themselves more. And so if you get anything from this video, it's to build the community, to be around good people, to collect good people, to find like-minded people. And whether that's going back in the past 6 months and thinking about somebody that you've met that you would like to spend more time with, whether that's joining a community like Movement Makers where you can be with people who are like that and trying to drive and just good people, or it's something else. Don't try to do this all alone. Don't try to wake up every day and just be a one-person army trying to take on the world, because you need help. You need help. And I sincerely hope you reach out and get it. Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch a video and you just get inspired, the statistics say you have a 35% chance of actually following through. But when you get motivated through a video and then you actually create a plan of action, you have a over 90% chance of following through. From 35% to 90% plus, because you created a plan of action. And when you commit to somebody else, commit publicly to say, I'm going to do this, it jumps to the mid-90s. That's what I want for you. Because Believe Nation, we take action. We follow through. We don't just get motivated. We actually do something about it so we can make the positive shift in the world that you want to make. And so, question of the day, I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? Let me know. Put it down in the comments below so I can celebrate with you too.
Hi, this is Dan Lok. I want to share with you a lesson from Evan Carmichael's new book, Built to Serve. This section is about making money from your purpose. You have to embrace that. If you never learn how to make money from your purpose, you'll always end up needing a day job, and your purpose will become a hobby. If that sounds like a great life to you, then I'm happy for you. If not, then you need to figure out a money-making model that makes sense, one that is consistent, one that is significant, one that can pay you so you can quit your job and succeed to the point where you are providing jobs for others and helping even more people. You see, money is nothing more than a byproduct of value creation. The more people that you serve, the more successful that you will be. So to have long-term success is not just built to last or built to sell or even built to scale. It is built to serve. And this book will teach you exactly how to do that.
You know, if you want to stay small, be the smartest guy on the block. And that's why most accountants, most attorneys, most doctors never get rich. It's because they're too narrow. You know, they're experts in toenail removal or something, you know what I mean? Or my attorney, a poor guy is an A student, but he knows jack about outside of that. Whereas I never had, I flunked out of high school twice because I can't write. It's ironic that I'm a writer today. But the reason I'm pretty good is because in the military we're taught to be generalists, not specialists. So when I sit down with my team, I have accountants, I have attorneys, I have media guys, I have IT guys, I have graphic designers and all this. So I operate as a team, since I don't know anything. So in actuality, being a great entrepreneur means I could be the laziest guy and I can know the least. But I have to have a very smart team, which is the ring finger around me. So because I was never smart, I had respect for people who are smart. And a lot of times I meet A students and they think they're the smartest guys on planet Earth. And that lack of respect is what keeps them small. And that's what most corporate guys want to do. Stay small, you know, you gotta climb that corporate ladder, you gotta beat the other guy to win the job, and it's all that stuff. It's not the way an entrepreneur really works. It's corporate. It's school system. You know, you gotta beat out for the grades, you gotta have the best grades. I don't have to be the best, but I have to hang out with the best.
Hi, this is Dan Lok. If you're a fan of Evan's work, if you want to know exactly how to model my success, I want to invite you to join me for a special online training. All you have to do is click on the link below. You can join me for absolutely no charge. So click on the link below and I will see you in class.
If you want another amazing Dan Lok video, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
How much money you make is only determined by how much value you could deliver to the marketplace with your skill set.
There's a lot of people work hard, but because they've never developed a high income skill,